one of the biggest new haunted attractions this year is, of course, Eli Roth's Goretorium. And we are extremely ecstatic to have the man behind the madness right on the phone with us right now. Hey, Eli, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Happy to be here. I'm excited for you guys to see it.
Yeah, so Goretorium, tell us a little bit about it. This just sounds like it's going to be some absolutely sick, insane crap.
Yes, well, sick and insane it will be. I've been a fan of these haunted attractions, but I think it's 12 or 13 years ago I went to Horror Nights for the first time, and it just blew me away. It was really one of the most intense experiences I had as a horror fan. I hadn't felt that scared since I was a kid. Like, I was really, really terrified, and I had the biggest smile on my face, and I thought, I never want this to end. And then last year at the Hostel Maze at Halloween Horror Nights, it was the most attended maze, and we had, between 2,000 and 2,100 people an hour going through, and people waiting 2.5 hours to go through it, and coming out just like shaking and laughing and going crazy. And, it's an amazing, amazing time, but it's only 18 nights a year, and it's been my dream for a long time to have a place like that that'll be open year-round. And for about 5 years, we've been putting this together and planning it, and we're opening next month. It's really exciting. It'll be a year-round haunted attraction, and I want it to be ground zero for horror fans. Like in the way that Disney World, they have their place where they can go. I wanted a place with a bar downstairs with a half girl, you're drinking her blood, and upstairs, after you go through a lounge with zombies in a cage with a lot of live feedings, a place to really, really build a community for horror fans to not just go through, but a place to hang out.
Awesome. Yeah, this is something that's really taken everybody by storm and something everybody's really talking about. With a name like Goretorium, you are really expected to notch up the gore. Compare what we can expect to see at Goretorium with something like Horror Nights, which is in a family-based theme park. But they do try to push the envelope as much as they can. Will Goretorium push it even further?
Well, I think there's a point where you can go to where it just becomes a law of diminishing returns, where it just becomes medical surgery. Right. I think the key is to make it fun and exciting and to defy expectations. You set people up for one thing and give them another. And the thing is to make it fun and scary. But people know with a place like Goretorium in my name, I'm not going to pull any punches. So, and the guys at Horror Nights are fantastic and have been hugely supportive of my doing this and really gave me a lot of great advice. But in that hostel maze, we had people being chopped up in half and ground up into meat, and people were shocked at the violence. But that's part of the fun of it, is that what people have in their heads of what a haunted house is so different from what it is now. These are going to be, in doing it in Las Vegas, you're going to get people from all over the world, and there are a lot of countries that of course know Halloween but don't celebrate it. And I hear from people on Twitter all the time that are saying, I wish we did Halloween over here. Well, this is going to be a chance for those people, too, to get to experience this. And also a lot of people have kids now, that you're going to take your kids trick-or-treating, but there's got to be something else for the adults to go. And, maybe you couldn't get there. You couldn't get to all the haunts you wanted Halloween. Well, now in, March, April, May, you're out there in Las Vegas, you're having fun with your friends, you've gone to dinner, you've had drinks, and it's like, what's the most fun thing you can do? It's like, yeah, let's go to the Goretorium. And we're building it in a way that we'll be able to change the scares and update it, and update it seasonally and change it around and do different themes for movies. But yeah, I want people are going to be shocked when they see the violence of this. It's not for young kids. This is a scary place. But at the same time, we're building a chapel there. So if you're a horror fan and you want to have the ultimate horror wedding, you can get married at the Goretorium. Have a zombie officiate your wedding. We're really
that is really kick-ass right there. That made me smile whenever I read that one. And you actually hit it dead on the head. You probably know, but a lot of year-round haunts, after a certain amount of time, they kind of lose their luster because they don't change. And you just hit it right on the head with, we're going to be changing throughout different times of the year. So I think that was one of the biggest concerns from a lot of fans, that they were really concerned that this was just going to become the same routine thing. But it sounds like you guys are full of ideas.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point, is we're building it in a permanent physical structure, but I want to update it for Christmas. I want to be updated for, like for any holiday or for any season, or for different movies coming out, you'd be able to update the names for that theme. I mean, that's part of the fun of it. If you think of anything year round and you redo the haunt for that, I mean, the haunted house is never as scary the second time, so that's why you can change it up. And look, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a learning process, but I think that having it in Las Vegas is the perfect place to start. I've been contacted by other venues in other cities to build one there, but I really, really want to make sure that every time fans go back, it's something new and exciting. I mean, Disney World has survived for many, many, many years because it's constantly changing and updating with the times, and that's what the Goretorium will do. I mean, I'm building this to be I want this to be a permanent Vegas fixture, and I really want it to be ground zero for horror fans. I want a place where we can all go and gather and meet our own kind. That's part of the fun of it. It's like when you're at these conventions, you get to be with other fans. And when you're at ChillerCon and you have that feeling where you're suddenly in a room with like 60,000 other horror fans in one place, it's fantastic. You suddenly don't feel so insane for loving this stuff the way we do. But, I also feel like if when I'm in Vegas, I don't gamble. I don't always want to go to see a show. Sometimes I just want to go to a bar and watch the zombie girls dance and feed them body parts.
That's killer. And actually that answers the third question that I had. Was this something that you're openly, actively involved in? And being that you are such a huge horror fan, and you can tell that by just looking at your films, you do a whole bunch of stuff while being completely original. It's really kind of heartening to know that you have your hands, elbows, and everything just covered in blood with this one. So this is something. Oh, I'm sorry. This is something that everybody that I know of, and like you said, fans, we're all just geeking out about this. The first teaser commercial that came out about it just kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't expect it to be that violent. And you even boil it down to the tagline, this September, you're fucked. And I just think that if you can live up to that, if you can capture that spirit, that is such a great thing. So,
yeah, no, we're unapologetically violent. I mean, I want this to be the most terrifying place on earth, but also fun. I mean, like when I go into a haunted house, I want to be scared. I want to be shocked. I want to be disturbed. Like we're gonna have a hazmat crew on standby to clean up vomit. I mean, it's really like for us. Basically, I'm building it to terrify the most hardened horror fan. The horror fan that never gets scared at anything, and never grossed up by anything that's seen, Serbian film, Cannibal Holocaust, it doesn't blink at these movies. I want them to go to this and be petrified. So that way, when the family, from Tulsa that goes through thinking, oh, it's a scary haunted house, and they take their kids and we go, this is inappropriate for 10-year-olds. You can bring them, but they're traumatized. Like I actually want people to be traumatized after they've gone through it.
That is awesome. That really is awesome. How are you going to with Horror Nights, it's become so popular, and like you said, it's squeezed into such a small window of nights that they constantly have to put people through almost like a conga line. Will that feeling be the same through Goretorium, or will you space it out? Will it be something kind of like a free-roaming thing where people can pretty much just go on their own?
No, well, it will be pulsed. I mean, we had a long talk about that, how when there's too many people in the room that it's not scary because you just can't even see anything, or the person in front of you always gets scared. So the way we're doing it is that we build, the first group goes in an elevator and through the elevator, then they're let out. Like we have different moments where you stop, where it's kind of self-guided, but it's pulsed in a way that there's never too many people around you. And also we're doing a thing now where we're exploring where if you want to rent it to do you have the entire place to yourself for a price, you can do that. Where it's like the solo scare experience. Like if you want to go and to call it alone, for a period, for high rollers that hit a bridge in Vegas that want to go through the entire experience by themselves, we're gonna allow them to do that. So if you want to go through and be absolutely fucking petrified with just you and your girlfriend, you'll be able to do that.
That is killer. That really is killer. And I know you're busy, and we really appreciate the time, but one last question, completely unrelated. Thanksgiving, will it happen?
Yes, it is going to happen. I'm working with the clown writers on it. Chris and John.
Awesome.
We have a call scheduled tomorrow afternoon. And Jeff Rendell, my co-writer, and I, we had like a very extensive treatment. We finally cracked the story and figured out like how to really, really make it scary and the reason to do it, and I'm really excited about it. So the clown writers wrote one of the best scripts I'd ever read, and we're like, before John starts shooting clown, he's got a window. And Chris Ford, his movie Robot and Frank just opened, Chris and John are gonna write the screenplay with me and my writing partner Jeff. So we'll have a draft soon.
As long as there's turkey fucking in it, I'm happy. That makes me a happy little fanboy inside. I mean, I literally screamed out loud in the middle of the movie theater, "Oh my God, he's fucking a turkey!" So it's definitely, you definitely made millions of people happy. So thank you so much.
Sure, man. My pleasure.
All right, well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Everybody check out Goretorium.com, and hey, any parting words?
Yeah, you can get your tickets online now. Just go to Goretorium.com and buy your tickets.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate the time, Eli.
All right, great, man.